Hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily, the news show powered by ohmTown.com. It is the ohmTown Daily news show for March 10th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 70. Today we're going to be talking about suing the tool makers, cinnamon recall, false GPS, tiny EV. It's a business, not a house. EA/QA union. Glasses instead of earbuds. Daylight savings sucks, $180,000 gift bag, and strange new worlds could be standard. I'm going to power through all of today's shows and articles, so stick with me as we ride this crazy news bus down Main Street, ohmTown.com. Right after this. Hello, I am Marawatt. That is ohmTown.com, and the AI is on location, taking a vacation, and maybe back tomorrow. So let's get into today's articles. There we go. So this one is interesting. I titled this one Suing the Toolmakers. NVIDIA is sued by authors over AI use of copyrighted works. I suppose it's because NVIDIA is facilitating. NVIDIA's AI is trained on various works that are out there. I'm not sure how it all actually gets acquired, if there's licensing in some way, somewhere, somebody buys a book and da-da-da. But there's always like tranches of profit that need to be made by somebody. And in this case, because somebody now knows what the valuation of AI is, then suddenly it's the hottest shit out there and it needs to be paid for in a way that wouldn't have been commensurate with the value of the work outside of just purchasing the work, right? So Brian Keane, Abdi Nazemian, and Stuart Onan said that their works helped train NVIDIA's AI. And you know what? That may very, very well be true. But where is the evidence? Let's find out. Maybe they have it in here. It's a Reuters article published over at CNBC.com. And it says NVIDIA's whose chips power artificial intelligence has been sued by 3 authors who said that their copyrighted works without permission to train its Nemo AI platform said that their works were part of a data set of about 196,640 books that helped train Nemo to simulate ordinary written language before being taken down in October due to reported copyright infringement. In a proposed class action filed on Friday night in San Francisco, the authors said the takedown reflects NVIDIA as having admitted it trained Nemo on the data set and thereby infringed their copyrights. They're asking for unspecified damages. Among works covered by the lawsuit are Keane's 2008 novel Ghost Walk, Nazemian's 2019 novel Like a Love Story, and Onan's 2007 novella Last Night at the Lobster. Of course, NVIDIA is going to not say a damn thing about it, but let me clear the chat here, and I'm going to throw this into the chat one more time. Just because I cleared chat. So there you go. So NVIDIA touts Nemo as fast and affordable way to adopt generative AI. Other companies sued over the technology have included OpenAI, which created the AI platform ChatGPT, and its partner Microsoft. AI's rise has made NVIDIA a favorite of investors, something like a market value of $2.2 trillion, heading towards Apple. So it's probably going to eclipse Apple, because even Apple is buying NVIDIA chips for its AI efforts, I'm sure. But yeah, a data set of 196,640 books. So I'm really curious what the licensing was with this. I don't quite understand why, if it's going to be training an AI, it needs a different license, but music is the same way. I can play music right now and it's licensed. Either through my own licensing agreement with various companies, or through Twitch or through YouTube. The problem there, though, is that there are times where a license doesn't extend because it's part of a VOD, and thus I run afoul of the synchro license. I had actually paid for licensing, but apparently not for the synchro license. It's all about making it as arcane and inaccessible as humanly possible, so it can be charged as much as humanly possible, instead of making it stress-free, frictionless, and you can just do what a radio station does, which is pay per stream per estimated user, or on streaming platforms like Pick, because they all do the same thing. There's various levels of compensation for a particular stream, partial or full, and the number of people that are listening to it. But that's not how this works. A book is, if you buy it, apparently you can't use it for training in AI. Is the book actually paid for? Is it licensed in some way for ownership? I don't know. I really don't know. But it says that it was shut down because of due to reported copyright infringement. And there's a link over at Reuters that talks about litigation, how copyright law could threaten AI industry. It's a January 2nd, 2024 article over at Reuters.com. Anyway, follow the link through ohmTown. It'll take you over to the CNBC article, and there they talk more about it, but not too much more. NVIDIA is going to, and AI companies are going to keep on finding assets to train their AI on. Right now, Reddit is feeding into, I think it's ChatGPT now. Yeah. Let's keep going. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. This is cinnamon recall widens over metal poisoning fears. So, you know that metallic taste that you get in cinnamon? It might actually be. 4 companies have issued recalls of the spice product this week after samples were found to contain elevated amounts of toxic metal lead. So this has nothing to do with cinnamon, this video over at newsweek.com, but that's okay. Alex Phillips is the author of this. 4 foodstuffs suppliers announced that they're recalling batches of cinnamon on Wednesday. While no illnesses linked to the potential contaminations have been reported, the Food and Drug Administration warned that ingesting the toxic metal can affect nearly every bodily system. And the thing about it is, it's not immediate. So you'll have this heavy metal coursing through your body, eventually entering your bloodstream, passing the brain-blood barrier, and depositing in your brain and in various other parts of your body. It's just disgusting. Exposure to lead can cause, among other conditions, high blood pressure, headaches, stomach cramps, and fatigue. Prolonged exposure to lead is associated with kidney and gastrointestinal dysfunctions. What? As well as neurological effects, including delayed reaction times, irritability, potentially seizures. It's almost like this is written by AI. Medical experts say lead poisoning in children can cause permanent development issues, according to the Centers for Disease Control. And yes, that is pretty much a known now. The FDA said the company had voluntarily ceased the production and distribution of all of its cinnamon products and had not violated any federal rules. The recall was the result of a targeted sampling program of discount brands by the FDA, following heightened sensitivity around cinnamon. The same day, Apopka, Florida company El Chilar Rodriguez issued a recall of 1,524 1.25 ounce bags of Canela Molida ground cinnamon. So if you've got some, follow this link and go through ohmTown. You'll be able to find out what's going on with this. I don't think there's an actual link in this article. Hold on a second. Yeah, I guess that's it right there, right? FDA. Nope, that's actually just a general link. Hold on a second. So there's one link. The first recall to be signposted by the FDA was that of North Bergen, New Jersey firm Colonna Brothers, which said it was recalling 2 types of ground cinnamon. I don't know why I said protein. Must have been reading something else here. Weird. Yeah, I don't see any links that are taking me directly to it. And it's not even in the article, so okay. So maybe I can find something and I'll post it along with the show notes. Let's keep going though. The next article is over in Technology Today. False GPS signal surge makes life hard for pilots. False GPS signals that deceive onboard plane systems and complicate the work of airline pilots are surging near conflict zones, industry employees and officials told AFP. I read another report about this and apparently because they're jamming the military areas, combat theaters are jamming GPS signals, it's messing up pilots. The article is over at techexplore.com. I think it's Tanji Queminer put the article together. A ground collision alert sounds in the cockpit, for instance, even though the plane is flying at high altitude, a phenomenon affecting several regions and apparently of military origin. This includes the region or the vicinity of Ukraine following the Russian invasion 2 years ago, the Eastern Mediterranean, and the air corridor above Iraq, according to pilots and officials. And it's largely because they are jamming GPS to avoid military rockets and stuff from being able to be guided into a particular zone. So global navigation system used by American Army. 2 others exist, the European Galileo and Russian's GLONASS. And since the start of the Ukraine war, the European Union Aviation Safety Agency has warned that GNSS signal disruptions have intensified, affecting relatively remote regions beyond the conflict zones such as Finland and Mediterranean. So yeah, it's as big as their broadcast can actually block the GPS signals. GNSS systems offer tremendous advantages to aviation in increasing the safety of operations in a busy shared airspace. Yeah, that way everybody knows where everybody else is. Air traffic controllers can manage all that metal. Unfortunately, you can't have nice things while there's a conflict going on. Why is there conflict going on? Let's keep going. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. This tiny EV is the most ridiculous quote-unquote car that the author has ever seen. Driven. But it's also a blast. The Citroen Ami, which means friend. Camouflage paintwork seemed to have the opposite effect. Ultra compact urban vehicle, electric quadricycle. The vehicle has a top speed of 28 miles per hour and a range of 46 miles per hour. The Ami is the most ridiculous quote-unquote car that they've ever driven, but it turns heads and is a lot of fun. Let's go on over to the source of this. Oh, wow. Chris Johnston over at Business Insider put the article together. That's what it looks like. Looks like a matchbox. 46. So it's an electric quadricycle. So what does it look like inside? Oh, there it is. It says Ami, French for friend. Also looked like it had been washed up in an army surplus cycle. Appropriately enough, they had made a new friend before they even parked. A passerby asked if they'd just got it. So this is what it looks like. Smaller than it looks. The Ami made its debut in France in 2020 and became available in the UK 2 years later. It's 7 feet 11 inches long, about a foot shorter than a smart car, 4 feet 7 inches wide, excluding mirrors, at 5 feet high. It's designed to be an urban runabout, 28 miles, 46 miles of range, 28 miles per hour. Got up to 22 and was so scared to push it any further. They just backed off of that. So the glass roof, but only one windshield wiper. It's all you need when it's basically the size of your glasses. It's also one of the cheapest new vehicles you can buy in the UK, starting at just over $12,285 or 8,000 pounds, or $150 a month on finance from Citroën. Has room for two. You're just kind of gonna be obliterated if you get hit by an F-150. It has push buttons, drive, neutral, and reverse. The secret to getting the Omni to move is tucked away on the left-hand side of the driver's seat. D, you guessed it, stands for drive, and neutral are reverse. Release the parking brake, press D, and you're off. Oh, so it's like... Wait, there has to be a pedal. Interesting. This is the view of the cabin and the windshield from behind the steering wheel. No, they don't know what the red button does either. They worked out how to turn the single wiper on, but failed to master opening the windows, and the glass roof means the cabin gets surprisingly warm even on a winter's day. Yeah, basically it starts acting like an oven. No bells or whistles. You have to bring your own music, and that's awesome. That's fine. That's exactly how I want it. Has a fan, heater, hazard lights, USB port, but no radio. Lots of storage, relatively, on the dash. And let's see. This person bought a chair and put it in the passenger seat. Maybe they went to IKEA or something. I don't know. The Omni got more than a few glances on the streets of South London. The crazy paint job certainly helped attract attention. I mean, it's cute, but yeah, it's definitely something that you would have to just kind of just use inside the city for short range. Pretty cool. It's the Citroën Omni. Let's keep going. Hey, you know what? The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. ChatGPT uses 17,000 times the amount of electricity than the average U.S. household does, according to a report. Let me grab this and throw it into the chat. Donk. And then this one, throw into the chat. Donk. And the only thing I can really say about this article is like, no shit. ChatGPT uses more than 500,000 kilowatt hours of electricity daily. The New Yorker reported. In comparison, the average U.S. household just uses 29 kilowatt hours. Estimating how much electricity the booming AI industry consumes is tough to pin down. Yeah. But you can't really compare. You can't compare your a house to a major business. OpenAI's buzzy chatbot ChatGPT is probably using more than 500,000 kilowatt hours of electricity to respond to some 200 million requests a day. I think it's stupid to compare it to a house, but that's okay. It's not even approachable. It's actually pretty disingenuous, because if the company is processing, if the house were processing 200 million requests a day, it too would be spending 17,000 times the amount of energy compared to the house next to it. So it's all about productivity and the offset. So what power source is this? Could a lot of it be solar? Could it all be self-sufficient in time? I don't know. I don't really like when things like this are compared. So that's a lot. And if generative AI is further adopted, it could drain significantly more. For example, if Google integrated generative AI technology into every search, it would drain about 29 billion kilowatt hours a year, according to calculations made by Alex de Vries, a data scientist for the Dutch National Bank, in a paper for the sustainable energy journal Joule. Yeah, all right. In his paper, however, DeVries came up with a rough calculation based on a number put out by NVIDIA, which some have dubbed the Cisco of the AI boom. Cisco still is a mover and a shaker in telecom industry, although it seems like industry is moving in a different direction since Cisco is pretty expensive equipment. It's a beast, though. All of their equipment is just juggernaut. According to figures from the New Street Research reported by CNBC, the chipmaker has about 95% of the market share of graphics processors. Yeah, until somebody else comes along. Let's hope that somebody else comes along. Some of the world's most high electricity use businesses pale in comparison. Samsung uses close to 23 terawatt hours, while tech giants like Google use little more than 12 terawatt hours, and Microsoft uses a bit more than 10 terawatt hours. So, let's see here. Yeah, 29 billion kilowatt hours. If it was put into a search, I don't know. Sure, I guess it's a big deal. 500,000 kilowatt hours versus trillions of kilowatt hours because they're a much bigger business, overall bigger business. Samsung uses close to 23 terawatt hours. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in Hedge Ideas. A new Activision QA union, let me throw this into the chat, is the largest in the video game industry. The union is the first to organize under a new labor agreement, which took effect after Microsoft's acquisition of Activision. Close that. Rebecca Picciotto is the author of this. A group of roughly 600 software testers at Activision Blizzard on Friday formed the U.S. video game industry's largest union so far. So 600 people is the largest union so far. The union is the first to organize under a new labor neutrality agreement, which took effect after Microsoft acquired Activision in October. Microsoft did a round of layoffs in its gaming division months after the Activision deal was closed, and quality assurance workers have expressed feeling undervalued compared to their engineer and developer colleagues, emphasizing the need for labor protections. I suppose. The union is the first to organize under a new labor agreement negotiated as part of Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision in October, the company's largest takeover yet. In January, Microsoft laid off 1,900 workers in its gaming division. That's right, because mergers and acquisitions really help you. Before the Microsoft Activision deal closed, QA workers at the video game maker's Albany branch had also formed a union. Yep, where abuse happens in the workplace, unions form. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Reality Hacker. Your next earbuds maybe shouldn't be earbuds at all. They're actually going to end up talking about the Meta Ray-Bans. These Phil Nicholson over at Digital Trends put the article together. But essentially, they have downward firing speakers. And if you put these headphones on, then you can listen to your music and whatnot without having earbuds in, which can pull you out of the world, that you're actually walking around in. But you have to wear these particular Ray-Bans, and these are tied to Meta. So I'll never be buying these. I doubt that I'd even do a demo or a review if they were sent to me by Meta. Due to the nature of this job, they have a decent stable of current headphones from which to choose, and they've been using more often lately only with the Ray-Bans. Not because of the best headphones they have, but having the Ray-Bans on hand means that they don't have to carry sunglasses, and they're in Florida, it's important. But again, you have to have those Ray-Bans. And what if I don't want those? Yeah, so they say, again, sunglasses don't make for the best earbuds or headphones or whatever you want to call this category that you can buy. If you want something go for the Shox Open Fit, which are better than the Ray-Bans and cut through wind noise that much more. And the author wouldn't rely on the Ray-Bans on an airplane for any number of reasons: battery, noise cancellation, the possibility of sound being heard by my seatmates. For that, stick with the Beats Studio Pros or older trusty Sonys. But why would you have these if you already have those? So, but what if you're going somewhere that doesn't require more specialized hardware? It might just be them and the Ray-Bans. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to the point where all I want to do is wear VR glasses and have a keyboard and then just sit down somewhere and start typing. It's very, very appealing to me to have AR, augmented reality glasses. Unfortunately, I'm going to wait until there are production runs that are being sent out. It's really released, and maybe the price will drop for the X-Real Ultras, the new ones that are coming out for developers, but not this one. So do you think your next earbuds will not be earbuds, but perhaps Meta Ray-Ban glasses? I can tell you no. The next article is over in Mobile. Daylight saving times begin, and I think it sucks. Which states want you to stop charging or changing the clocks? This article is over at The Hill, so let's just jump right on over to it. Addie Bink is the author. This comes from Nexstar. The clocks on our phones and other pieces of tech jump forward an hour overnight between Saturday and Sunday, which means that daylight savings has finally begun. Or daylight saving has officially begun. It was a shock to my system that as I was driving, I looked at my watch and looked at my car's clock, and there was an hour disparity between the two, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just lost an hour of sleep. Didn't really dawn on me. So the problem that many have encountered in which side of the clock to stand on, permanent daylight savings time or saving time, by the way, or permanent standard time. Under the Uniform Time Act of 1966, states can exempt themselves from daylight saving time by observing permanent standard time year-round, but they cannot observe permanent daylight saving time all year-round. Hawaii and most Arizona, as well as all U.S. territories, have made that change, while lawmakers in California, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, Oregon, Washington, and West Virginia have recently introduced bills to do the same. So basically, lock it down. So many states have tried to pass bills, but it's always kind of been bumped. At least 19 states have already enacted such legislation in resolutions, according to the NCSL. That includes Alabama, Colorado, many other states. Some of that legislation would also require one or more neighboring states to jump into permanent daylight saving time before the original state would. The bill introduced in Illinois earlier this year, for example, would put the state on permanent standard time only if Indiana, Iowa, Missouri, and Wisconsin would do the same. I don't understand why, though. I mean, I understand why it existed, but today is the 21st century. Maybe it's time to move on. Let's keep going. This next article is over in the Mobile channel. Inside the $180,000 gift bag given to Oscar nominees. It's over at The Hill. Alex Mardashoy is the author of this. And apparently inside the 10-year anniversary of Ellen DeGeneres' memorial Oscar selfie it's a link right here. If you click that, it's going to take you off of this site. So don't necessarily click that unless you're interested. There are 60 freebies, vouchers, and items in the gift package. I hope most of these people donate these things to somebody. One second. So a 3-night stay for 10 people at a chalet in Zermatt, Switzerland. Portable, retractable seat you can carry around so your bag and briefcase won't have to touch the floor. Peasants. 3D printed full color selfie figurine in an acrylic display case. A wine fridge that holds 45. What? That holds 45 bottles, Mexican tequila, Scottish gin, and a mocktail making kit for those abstaining from alcohol. A 3-night stay at a St. Bart villa. Yeah, I'm gonna go Barth. Seats at a show that combine magic, mind reading, hypnosis, and comedy. A voucher for microneedling and skin tightening procedures. Yikes. Gourmet popcorn and vegan chocolates. Private session with a celebrity sound healer. Complimentary project management on a home remodel. 7-day retreat at a Southern California spa, and a Rubik's Cube, and the items and experiences all tally up to $180,000. Yikes. That's all it takes. Let's go on to the last article for today. I'm kind of ripping through these. This last article for today for ohmTown Daily News Show is the continuity report. The author says that they're excited for Strange New Worlds Pike to become Star Trek's most important captain when Discovery ends. Strange New Worlds Captain Christopher Pike will become Star Trek's most important active captain when Star Trek Discovery ends. Pike was reintroduced in Star Trek Discovery Season 2, updating the character from the original version played by Jeffrey Hunter in Star Trek's original pilot, The Cage. The revamped Captain Pike, Lieutenant Spock, and Number 1, Rebecca Romaine, proved to be so popular that they received their own spin-off, the critically acclaimed Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I really want Strange New Worlds to kick off. John Orquiola is the author of this. It's over at ScreenRant.com. The deck statement says Captain Christopher Pike of Strange New Worlds is already popular, but he's about to become even more prominent when Star Trek Discovery ends. That's right around the corner. Let's see here. Star Trek on Paramount Plus until recently had 5 new series featuring multiple starship captains, although the most prominent is Star Trek Discovery's Captain Michael Burnham, Star Trek Picard's Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, and Star Trek Lower Decks Captain Carol Freeman, Star Trek parody Dal Rel, which did it get saved? I don't know. I'm not sure. And Admiral Catherine Janeway, and Captain Pike. As an enduring icon of Star Trek generation, Admiral Picard's stature can't be denied, but his days of being a starship captain are long over. Pardon me one second. The Star Trek Discovery Season 5 also marking its final season, Captain Pike, A Strange New Worlds, is about to take off. So there's more over at this article. Pardon me one second. My goodness. Sorry about the silence. I had to cough and I didn't want to cough into the mic. There's more over at the ScreenRant.com article. Yeah, I'm hoping that there are going to be more Star Trek shows coming out. Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, I hope is returning. I don't remember off the top of my head if they are. Says, unfortunately, the only live action captain could equal or exceed Pike's prominence doesn't have a Star Trek TV series in development. That would be Picard Season 3's ending, set up a new short about Captain 7 of 9 and the USS Enterprise G, but that potential series is in limbo and may not happen at all, which is a bummer. I suppose that might be great, having a Borg captain or ex-Borg captain, XB. So yeah, I don't know. I like Pike, but we know how it ends. If you look back into the history of the original Star Trek series, you know exactly what happens to Pike. But I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. But that is it for today. We're going to jump back into the party bus and race down Main Street. And I'm not going to click on it. It doesn't really matter. Go and check out ohmTown.com, and you won't regret it. I mean, we have 6 main categories, and there's about 50 channels. I think we're at 47 right now. That tend to act. The 50 that I'm planning are going to stay pretty much forever like this. I don't think I'll be changing them anytime soon unless I add more to it. But right now we have 50. We're actually at 5 that are operational, 5 shows that we put together here on twitch.tv/ohmTown. Then they get copied over to YouTube, and then they get turned into a podcast. I'm in the process of doing yesterday's shows, actually. And I got pulled away, so I will try and get that done. With that in mind, though, I'm going to call today's show a little short. I'm not doing too much soapboxing today, and we did all 10 articles in just 36 minutes. So let me know if you appreciate this format more than the longer one, which can run over an hour, upwards of an hour and a half. And if you prefer that, then maybe I will do those or future episodes faster and not soapbox so much. But sometimes, man, I just have to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. Anyway, that's it. I am Mirwat. That is ohmTown.com, and I will see you tomorrow. Or not.